In the gleaming chambers of the Galactic Council, they passed judgment with the cold efficiency of ancient machines. 712 species comprised the council, from gas-dwelling amoeboids to silicon-based hive minds, and all of them agreed on one thing: humans were a problem. Or more specifically, she was a problem. Captain Rail Hunter, Terran Expeditionary Force. War hero. Diplomatic nightmare. The first human to single-handedly turn a stalemate into a victory against the Zalreth brood. And, in the Council's eyes, the first human to violate half a dozen interstellar treaties to do it. She had defied orders, destroyed forbidden tech, weaponized local fauna, saved billions, but she broke the rules, and so they exiled her. Not to a cell, not to execution, but to Vardan 6, classified as a Class 15 Deathworld, the highest threat level in the galaxy. Why not just kill her? That would make her a martyr. But drop her on Vardan 6, a place where the sky rained acid, the plants drank blood, and the apex predators made black hole serpents look tame. There would be nothing left to bury. The last image of her, caught by Council drone footage, was chilling. Standing on the dropship's exit ramp, the fires of Vardan's hellish atmosphere painting her face in flickering orange. No armor, no weapons, just a ruined uniform and her teeth bared in a grin. She saluted the drone. Then jump. Middle. For 1.7 solar years, Vardan 6 was silent. Council observers circled the planet in cloaked ships, monitoring seismic activity, atmospheric changes, and any signal that might indicate the Terran was still alive. There were some anomalies. A massive spike in bioelectric activity in Quadrant 3. The extinction of a previously dominant predator species known as the Shriekfangs. Even a strange pattern of burned glyphs, spiraling outwards for kilometers, picked up by high-orbit scans. But the Council chalked it up to natural processes. After all, no one being could survive a death world. Not without equipment. Not for long. But the Council didn't understand humans. Not really. Rail's first week on Vardan 6 was pain. The air blistered her lungs. The ground ate her boots. The first creature she encountered, a three-eyed leech lizard, tried to liquefy her legs with its spit. She killed it with a rock. The second week, she realized Vardan wasn't chaotic. It was a system. Brutal, elegant, ancient. Every predator had a prey. Every creature a purpose. The stronger hunted. The smarter ruled. She was both. By the third month, she wore a cloak of scavenged chitin. Her skin tattooed with symbols drawn in the blood of predators. She'd built a shelter from the bones of a sky kraken and tamed 2 six-legged warhounds using dominance rituals she watched the local alpha beasts perform. She didn't just survive. She thrived. More than that, Rail learned. Vardan had intelligence. Not sentient, not like the Council species. But it had memory. Behavior passed through genetic lines. Communication through pheromones, through colors, through frequency. The planet spoke. And Rail, the last Terran on this rock, learned to answer. By year 1, she wasn't alone. The predators followed her now. The sky krakens hovered when she passed. The Shriekfangs, what few remained, fled at her scent. She was alpha, apex, queen. And she had a goal. Not just survival. Retribution. She carved her message into the bones of a fallen behemoth, then burned it into the ground using the acid glands of a fire maw beetle. I am coming back. Ending. Started small. A distress beacon near the edges of Council territory, from a border world called Haros 9. An agricultural moon. Peaceful. Boring. The responding patrol found the place leveled. Fields turned to glass. The planet's apex fauna, normally docile herbivores, had turned into carnivorous berserkers. And at the center of the crater, a symbol carved into the scorched earth. Terran's skull. Within weeks, 3 more colonies fell. Not to armies, not to fleets, but to creatures, ones no database could identify. Creatures that fought in packs, used tactics, adapted mid-battle. Some flew. Some burrowed. Some melted through reinforced bunkers with bioacid. The Council scrambled. Deployed elite forces. Sent kill squads. None returned. Then came the message. Hijacked on all frequencies. Broadcasted from a bio-grown transmitter. Rael's face filled every screen in the galaxy. She wore armor made of carapace and steel, her eyes burning, her voice calm. To the Galactic Council. You exiled me to die. I didn't. You made me a monster. I became their queen. And now, I bring the Deathworld to you. Not for revenge. For balance. You created a system where only the powerful rule. Where mercy is weakness. Where rules matter more than people. I learned that lesson. And I brought teachers. She ended the broadcast by whistling a tone, ultrasonic, unheard by most species. But across council space, it was heard by the beasts she had seeded. The monsters. The vanguard of Varden's wrath. They howled in response. The war lasted 2 years. Not a war of fleets. Not entirely. It was biological, psychological, cultural. Council planets found themselves overrun not by ships, but by bioengineered nests. Hives that grew from the crust like tumors. Predators that adapted to every defense. Worlds that turned wild in months. Their infrastructure swallowed by jungles that obeyed Rael's will. The Council called her the Death Mother. Humanity, the Terran Union, had initially disavowed her. But they watched silently as she dismantled the arrogant powers that had exiled her. Some humans cheered, others feared, and a few joined her. At the final battle over Galaxis Prime, the heart of the Council, they made one last stand. The sky boiled with ships. The orbital batteries rained plasma. And Rael came, not in a flagship, but riding a beast that split the sky. A flying leviathan, large enough to blot out the moons. Her army followed, not in formation, but in swarms, crawling, leaping, roaring. She gave them one chance. Surrender. Not to her, but to a new order. Council rebuilt. Not on control but cooperation. On survival, on mutual strength. On respect. They refused. And Galaxis Prime burned. Prologue. 10 years later, the galaxy is quiet. Rael no longer leads armies. She rules no empire. She resides on Varden 6. In a palace grown from the bones of titans, surrounded by the creatures she once tamed. The new Galactic Accord honors her as the founder of the Age of Balance. Every species now sends their young to Vardan for trials. A rite of passage. Test of worth. To understand the lesson Rael gave the galaxy. Strength is not cruelty. Mercy is not weakness. And if you exile a human to hell, be very sure they don't come back with hell as their army.